With Tokyo 2020 postponed until next summer, much of the pre-virus Olympic hype has withered. But though the monotony of life in a pandemic rolls on, two of Team GB's meant to be Olympic rowers remain in high spirits. Charlie Elwes and Sholto Carnegie remain as focused on and as motivated by the delayed games as they ever have been. COVID-19 has not stopped their push towards Tokyo, and I went to visit them to see how they've been training in lockdown.
You know, the day that we were pre-selected was also the day that we got sent home, and having that kind of mixed experience where, you know, you're kind of pre-selected for the Olympics. That's however many years you've spent building up to that moment. It's supposed to be one of the best days of your life. And then instantly afterwards they go, all right, go home and train. And then less than a week later having the Olympics postponed.
So we've just had our first race, which would have been sort of like the preparation race for the Olympic Games. I was sort of thinking like, well, today I would have been racing potentially in the semi-final of the World Cup, and I was like, well, I'm going to sort of really show what I could have produced then, and sort of an opportunity to really put the boot in. But it's tough. I mean, it's easy to say, yeah, we're super motivated all the time, but having the Olympics delayed a year is a big setback, and it takes a while to like mentally process.
So generally speaking, a normal day would be 3 sessions. You saw earlier that we normally do our weights first, and then we'll jump on the ergo, which we kind of do second, and then we will normally go on, you know, anything from swimming to bike riding to running, sort of some form of cross training, and that's sort of the picture of what a normal day looks like.
How do they stay motivated, you might ask? The games are not for another 14 months, and with breaks only on Sundays, their lockdown training regime is as brutal as it could be. But having attended Yale University together, Elwes and Carnegie are long-time friends, and they are using one another to help retain focus on their respective pursuits of gold.
You know, obviously having someone to train with makes it a whole heap easier. Training on your own, which most of our other teammates are doing, I think it's quite hard for them. We knew that it was going to be hard, so we, as Sholto said, we planned ahead.
The hard days aren't, me and Charlie don't necessarily have the same hard days. When we train together, we push each other on, and my lows, Charlie will help me up, and Charlie's lows, Charlie helps me up. So it's sort of like, that's the real positive of having this like mini team environment that me and Charlie have created here. And it also helps that we've sort of had a lot of shared experience with training together at Yale. I've been through a lot of like great racing, so sort of good to have. We're not just business partners or work associates, we're also friends.
Is there a fear of someone replacing you in either of the boats next year?
I think in terms of selection, there's always, you know, a chance that somebody better than you will come in. You know, it's a performance-based sport, and your place in the boat is contingent upon your performance. But I think for us, it's motivating to know that, you know, one more year in the squad is only going to make us that much better. It's quite a young team relative to some of the other teams around the world, and so yeah, like we've said sort of time and time again, this next year is only going to increase our performance and increase our capacity to hopefully fight for the top spot.